All right, so my good friends at Swampfox sent me this Arrowhead 1:10 second focal plane because unless you have, in my opinion, 10 or greater on your max magnification, I don't feel you get the benefits out of first focal plane, and the reticle, a first focal plane reticle just doesn't do well in an LPVO. You're sacrificing too much. It either sucks at 1, sucks at 10, or sucks somewhere in between. I don't dig it. Bigger fan of a second focal plane for most LPVOs. But anyway, I got this guy. It's green illuminated. First initial impressions for a budget optic. I mean, it ain't got razor glass, okay? But for a budget optic, this thing's fantastic, man. It is absolutely daylight bright. The reticle is usable. Fantastic. It's got locking turrets. Now, turrets leave something to be desired for. It's like as soon as you start trying to adjust them and bump them, they catch back into their lock, but that's okay. At least they favor to the lock side. Tons of, like I said, usable illumination, 1:10, good reticle, and they sent me a mount which is at 1.6. So y'all know I love the 1.7-ish height. But we're gonna compare it, review it, and compare it to my tried and true Razor 1:6 Gen 2E, which is arguably the best LPVO to have ever existed. And then there's a March dual focal plane 1:10 over there. Spoiler alert, I don't like it at all. So we're gonna do 10 round aggregates. We're out here just using some AAC 77 OTMs as the constant ammo through these 3 rifles. I've spent some time behind them roughing them in. Now I'm gonna get super stable and see what they do with this ammo. So I'm sort of just testing out this ammo as well. Figured I'd be very objective in my thoughts on these optics as well. All right, let's get to it. So, again, for a budget-friendly LPVO, a 1:10, so that's a 5 by erector or a 10 by erector assembly. Like it's impressive how usable it is for its price point. Now, here's my Razor 1:6 Gen 2E. I've loved this optic forever. It has been my favorite. Sometimes 6 just ain't enough though, you know? I mean, there's a difference between PID and target discrimination. Just because you can see something and shoot it at 300 yards doesn't mean you should. Being able to positively identify and discriminate at distance requires good magnification and clarity. Mostly clarity, but you gotta have magnification to go with it. So you're only gonna go so far with a 6 power. Looking for fine details. Sometimes you need a 10, and I feel like this 1:10 here starts to bridge that gap. The clarity is not amazing, but it's still, like I said, just usable. Usable is the best word for it. All right, 1:6 through my Santan rifle right off the bat. 6 is further, it's not as close obviously, but it's so much clearer, so that makes up for something. Let's see here, get super stable. So full disclosure, this is not mine, this is a friend of mine's that I'm just using for a review and just kind of checking it out. This is a March 1:10 dual focal plane. So it has a reticle before and after the erector assembly. So you really start to get the best of both worlds. Is it amazing? No, but it's close. It's close. I like it. I think we're going in the right direction. right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think this optic is worth the money it demands. There are a few quirky things that I don't like about it. The parallax is dang near unusable. It's cool that it's an LTVO with parallax on it, but I mean, to make that 100-yard target look clear, I had to put it on infinity. It was blurry everywhere else, so it's almost like it doesn't even work right. The illumination's okay. The way you adjust it is kind of goofy because you end up turning your parallax to turn it on or off. So that's kind of annoying. I do like the adjustment knobs. So you just spin it to lock it, spin it to unlock it. It's like they took a page out of the Steiner T6 series. Same way, you just unlock and lock with the outer ring, and then you can do what you need to do and then lock it back. I like that a lot. It's almost like these are a lot alike. I don't know if they're like the same parent company or anything, but they are very, very similar. So anyway, let's get to it. The Razor, super clear. I just wish it had more magnification at times, especially shooting these 10 round groupings at 100. The Swampfox gave me the extra magnification, but the clarity just wasn't quite amazing. But again, it was just very usable. I've shot this thing, like I said, I don't think it's worth the money quite yet. I don't think they've worked all the kinks out of this thing. So let's see what it's got. Also, this SIG, I don't know what barrel it has. This is a SIG Daniel Horner 3-gun rifle. It is not like this AAC 77 grain at all. You'll see this in a minute. Trying to rough it in was an absolute headache earlier. All right, DH3 on the top right. There we go. All right, so everything white down there has a blue tint. I also see a ton of mirage, which is useful, but it's almost like the mirage messes with the clarity of the target. Yeah, I don't know. Let's turn on the brightness real quick and see how bright it is. I'm gonna put that sucker all the way on 6. Oh, well, it must be dead because it's not even working. Oh, I gotta push the button. Yeah, you know, it's not as bright as the Razor or even the Swampfox. It's just a dot in the middle. Swampfox has a big ring around the center as well. And then the Razor just has the dot in the middle as well. It's not as bright as either one of those, but it is bright enough. All right, we'll do bottom right on this one. 10 rounds on this guy. All right, we'll pack all this stuff up. We'll talk about we'll go look at the targets and give you some final thoughts. All right, so we did 10 round groupings through all 3 rifles. Disregard these shots. I was doing something else. But anyway, this is going to be the ADM barrel or ADM rifle that I have a ballistic advantage barrel in, 14.5. This will be the Santan with the 13.9. That's a Roscoe barrel they use. And then this is the Daniel Horner 3-gun SIG barrel. It has a 1-in-8 twist, and it's stainless steel, so it's a little different. As you can tell, I mean, we're hook 'em horns wide on the SIG. We're just within that on the Santan, and we're all in the 10 ring on that ballistic advantage. But we're here to talk about the optics. So what did I see and what did I notice behind all of these? First off, the 10x zoom was obviously very usable on the ADM, and it allowed me to make sure that the reticle is perfectly centered on every shot, or not perfectly centered, but more perfectly centered than the other, than the Razor, which is just a 1-to-6. Now the Razor, again, like I said earlier, it's like the pinnacle of freaking LPVOs. You're gonna have crystal clear glass. You're gonna have a flat image, paper thin edge on your bezel, cap turrets. It's hefty. Now it's a little heavy. That is the Gen 2 E model, so it's the lightest variants of it. But again, it's what the perfect dual LPVO should be. A near perfect one by, which is the reason why we buy LPVOs, because you want a one by. If you didn't, you would buy a regular optic. It has all the other benefits, but has a great one by. It goes up to 6. The red dot brightness in this daylight bright. It's bright enough to use in broad daylight like what we got here. So very, very usable optic. If you have a grand to spend, I still think that is the perfect LPVO. Moving on to the March 1 to 10 dual focal plane. I don't know if I got a bad one, but again, the parallax is unusable. It does not work as designed. You end up moving the parallax, trying to turn on or adjust the brightness rather. I don't like the throw lever that they send with it because you're stuck positioning it exactly the way you see it there, because the notch on the actual magnification ring goes up inside of the notch of the throw lever, so you don't have any customization of that. I don't dig that at all. I like the turrets and I like the reticle. I like the dual focal plane reticle and I like the turrets on it. Outside of that, I don't dig it at all. If you said, "Hey Tyler, would you buy this Swampfox Arrowhead and spend the rest of the money I would save instead of buying a razor in ammo?" I would say yes, 100%. Grab you a Swampfox Arrowhead. If you just have to have first focal plane, grab the Warhawk, I think it is. I forget the name brand of the other one's first focal plane, and then spend the rest in ammo. As someone that does this somewhat professionally, it's the main reason why I have these things, and I can afford to spend the extra dough on a razor. So that's what I think about the Swampfox. I think it is an amazing budget line optic. I still think the razor is the perfect dual LPVO if you have a grand to spend, and I do not like that March at all. And it looks like the AAC ammo isn't near as consistent as it used to be either. Hashtag looking for a more consistent 77 grain ammo. Thanks for tuning in.